أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين. صلى الله عليك يا مولاي يا رسول الله. صلى الله عليك وعلى آل بيتك المظلومين. ما خاب من تمسك بكم أمن من لجأ إلى حصنكم سادتي. سيدي يا أبا عبد الله يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة، يا غريب ويا قتيل في أرض كربلاء، فلئن أخرتني الدهور وعاقني عن نصرك المقدور فلم أكن لمن حاربك محاربا ولمن نصب لك العداوة مناصبا، فلأبدبنك صباحا ومساء ولأبكين عليك بدل الدموع دمع. يا ليتنا يا ليتنا يا ليتنا كنا معكم فنفوز والله فوزا عظيما. قال الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا استجيبوا لله وللرسول إذا دعاكم لما يحييكم واعلموا أن الله يحول بين المرء وقلبه وأنه إليه تحشرون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات. Ten days have passed after the day of Ashura, and for the 10 days we have been mourning Imam al-Hussein and remembering those that were with him and hoping and wishing continuously that we had joined him or that we were able to be with him and we were able to respond to the call of Allah and the Prophet to what revives us. So today, 10 days after Ashura, we ask, how do we join the camp of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam? To explain this clearly, let us bless this gathering with 3 loud salawats ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The first 3 people that we look at, I would like to categorize them in different categories. The first of them, I'll call him the bargainer. When he hears the news that Imam al-Hussein is headed towards Kufa, he leaves Kufa and he starts camping ahead. Every time Imam Hussein's tent is there, he moves ahead in order to avoid meeting Imam al-Hussein. This man was none other than Ubaidullah al-Ju'fi. Ubaidullah al-Ju'fi on one of those days ends up next to the tent of Imam al-Hussein. And Imam al-Hussein sends somebody, go and invite him to join us. This man comes from the same tribe of Ju'f, and he comes to Ubaidullah al-Ju'fi and he tells Ubaidullah, Hussein is inviting you to join our tent, to join our camp. And he tells him, please excuse me, I will not be able to join. I left Kufa for this very reason, because I know the people of Kufa are not with Hussein. So Hussein would need me. And I didn't want to be of use to Hussein, so I left. So this companion goes back to Imam al-Hussein and tells Imam al-Hussein that this is the situation. Imam al-Hussein now himself leaves his tent and he heads towards Ubaidullah. The narration states that when he enters the tent of Ubaidullah, Ubaidullah falls onto the ground and starts kissing the feet of the Imam, then welcomes him to the spot that he was sitting on. This man had love for the Imam for sure. When this happens, Imam al-Hussein then tells him, Ubaidullah, I need you with me. I need you to join my tent. I need you to join my army. And Ubaidullah tells the Imam, listen, please excuse me. I will give you my horse. With this horse, whoever I have chased has never run away from me. And whoever has chased me has never caught up to me. So take this horse and escape. I will protect your women and I will bring them to you later on. But take this horse. The Imam tells him, I do not want your horse. So he takes out his sword and says, oh Imam, take my sword. Perhaps with this sword you'll be able to fight a more valiant battle, because I fought with your father with the sword. The Imam tells him, I do not want your sword either. So he tells the Imam, what do you want then? He says, I want you. I want you to come with me. Ubaidullah says, I'm sorry. I can't help you with that. I can't come with you. So he was bargaining with the Imam. He was giving options to the Imam. The Imam didn't want options. The Imam wanted obedience from him, but he was not willing to obey the Imam. So he missed out on the tent of Hussein. Are we like him or are we different from him? Then we come to the second personality. And the second personality was somebody who used worldly excuses. It was Harthama bin Salman or Harthama bin Abi Muslim. Harthama was with Imam Ali in the Battle of Siffin. And in the Battle of Siffin, he is narrating that I were coming back from the Battle of Siffin and we stopped at a place and Imam Ali picks up the sand, smells it, and cries. And he says there's going to be a group that is going to be killed on this land and Allah will send them straight to Jannah without question. Harthama leaves, goes to his wife and informs his wife of this. He says, I forgot about it for about 20 years. Out of nowhere, it is the Battle of Karbala, and I am the head of the army of Umar bin Sa'ad against Hussein. And when we reach the land of Karbala, I realize that this was the land my master had promised me about. So he goes to Imam al-Hussein. And he tells Imam al-Hussein that, Imam, your father had told me about this land. Imam asks him one question. Are you with us or are you against us? And he says, I'm neither with you nor against you. I have got daughters that I need to take care of, so I'm going to run away. The Imam tells him, if you're running away, run away very far. Because if you hear our call and you do not respond to it, God will take you face first into the fire of hell. Harthama left. He was that close. He was promised by Imam Ali about the status of the people who will be martyred on that land, but he didn't pay heed. The third one, even more miserable. Dhahak al-Mashriqi. Dhahak al-Mashriqi, similar to Ubaidullah al-Ju'fi and Zuhair bin Qayn, his tent was next to the Imam and the Imam invites him. And he tells the Imam, I'm going to come under one condition. If you accept this condition, I will join you. The Imam tells him, what is your condition? He says, my condition is very simple. I want you to take me with you, and I'm going to be with you for as long as there is chance of victory. The moment I see that victory is no longer possible, I want you to excuse me. The Imam tells him, okay. On the day of Ashura, he fought with the Imam in the first battle, and he fought with him till the time of Dhuhr on the day of Ashura. At the time of Dhuhr, he sees that the enemies are plotting to steal the horses from the camp of Imam al-Hussein. So he gets off his horse and he goes and hides his horse and then continues fighting whilst on foot until all the companions have been martyred except for him and 3 others. So he knows now the attack is on Hussein and his family. So he comes to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam and he tells him, Master, do you remember the condition I had put, that when victory is no longer seen, I will leave? He says, yes, you're excused, you can leave. But how will you flee from the enemies? He says, I've hidden my horse, I'm going to take the horse and leave. The Imam tells him the same thing, that if you get on your horse and leave, make sure you're very far away. Because if you hear our call for help and you do not help, you will go face first into the fire of hell. Dhahak al-Mashriqi, in fact, when he goes back to Kufa, he is the first person to narrate the Maqtal. First person. Tariq al-Tabari, the famous history book, quotes Dhahak a lot. Because he would go back to the city of Kufa and tell people that this is what I saw, this is what I saw, this is how many people were there. So a lot of the maqtal that you just listen to the Maulanas recite on the member, a lot of it is from him. But he was not lucky enough to enter this camp. Despite being there till the Dhuhr, he could not stay till Asr, because he lacked those qualities. On the flip side, if you come and see, you have somebody like Zuhair bin Qayn. Similar story. He was also escaping the Imam. Initially, some of the reports say that he was an Uthmani, he was pro-Uthman. So he was escaping. He would have his tent before or after, before or after. And he reaches one point where the Imam calls him and invites him to join. And his wife convinces him to join. So he comes and joins, and not only does he join, he carries one of the flanks, he delivers sermon, and he leaves behind a name for himself. That if you're to open any Maqtal book, you'll see the sermon of Zuhair bin Qayn on the day of Ashura. Somebody who was Uthmani at one point, such that even when the people of Yazid were addressing him, they would address him as an Uthmani. But he changed sides completely and entered the tent and the camp of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. In his footsteps and directly opposite to the Haq al-Mashriqi, Hur al-Riyahi. Hur al-Riyahi, we all know the story, that he stopped Imam al-Hussein from entering. But look at how he stopped him. He stops him and Imam Hussein tells him that, listen, it's the time for Dhuhr. You take your men and lead Salat al-Dhuhr, and I'll take my men and lead Salah. And he tells the Imam, the grandson of the Prophet is available and I lead my own Salah. You lead, I and my men will pray behind you. He had some recognition of the Imam already. When the Imam tells him, Thakulatka ummuk, may your mother weep over you. He says, if it was any other Arab man, I would have responded with something worse. But you are the son of Fatima. He had that recognition of the Imam. And if you were to mention all these people in the tent of Imam al-Hussein, all the martyrs of with Imam al-Hussein, all of them possess these qualities. So if you were to look at Habib ibn Madahir, who was sitting in Kufa and gets a letter of invitation from Imam al-Hussein, he leaves everything and rushes towards Hussein. Muslim Awsaja, when he gets the letter of invitation from Imam al-Hussein, this old man, 90 plus, such that they say that when he was fighting, he would have a rope tied so that his eyebrows stay open. What does he tell Imam al-Hussein when Imam allows them to leave on the night of Ashura? He says, I will fight alongside you with my sword. And if my sword breaks, I will fight with my hands. But I will fight and I will defend you until my last breath. They joined the tent of Imam al-Hussein because of many qualities. Let's look at 3 of these qualities that they had. And 3 qualities, these same qualities that the other side lacked, or those that ran away lacked. The first of these qualities is they had ma'rifah of the Imam, not ilm. There's a difference between knowing something and recognizing something. It's very easy for me to say, I know this one, I know this one, I know this one. I know Allah is one, I know Muhammad is the last messenger, sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. I know that the Imams are 12. But do I recognize them? It is very crucial to have recognition, because even when you go for the ziyarah of Imam al-Hussein, the thawab you have, for example, man zara qabr al-Hussein, arifan bihaqqihi, kaman zara Allah ala arshih. The one who visits Hussein with ma'rifah, it is as though he's visiting God on his throne. Symbolic throne, obviously. But this is how great it is. But with one condition, ma'rifah. Not those who know Hussein, those that recognize Hussein. To know Hussein, to know his mother, to know his father, to know his birth date, I promise you, even Shimr and Umar bin Sa'ad would be knowing that. But recognition. The second of these conditions, Imam al-Hussein tells the enemies on the day of Ashura when he wants to give them advice and they reject. He tells them, I know why you do not want to listen to me. فَقَدْ مُلِئَتْ بُطُونُكُمْ مِنَ الْحَرَامِ. Literally, your bellies are filled with haram. Metaphorically, butun could refer to your insides. Are filled with haram. Haram, if it is bellies, then it is not just pork, and none dhabiha meat. No, you go to your workplace and you take that bribe under the table. Haram. You evade your taxes. Haram. All these things, you don't pay your khums. Haram. All these things end up filling your belly with haram. If you have this, you're not able to listen to the words of Imam. You may know the Imam, but you won't be able to join his tent. You won't be able to join his camp. If you go the metaphorical route and say, no, you're filled with haram, this could then come into bad actions as well. You're filled with greed. You're filled with jealousy. You're filled with envy. You're filled with hatred. Or no, you don't have that attachment in your heart. Things that are wajib upon a believer, such that the Prophet mentions narration saying, laysa minni. Somebody who does not have these qualities, laysa minni. Something like what? Sleeping whilst you know that your Muslim brother is oppressed. If you do not feel for him, you are filled with haram. You have a gap here that you've not filled. No, sometimes not. Your bellies are not filled with haram. They could be filled with halal, but in excess. The world has consumed you. If you look at Dua bi Hamza Thumali from the fourth holy Imam, the fourth Imam says what? Allahumma akhrij hubba dunya min qalbi. Oh Allah, remove the love of this world from my heart. Immediately after, what does he say? Wajma' bayni wa bayna al-Mustafa wa ali. Sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. So in order to have that connection and to be able to enter the tent of Mustafa wa ali, first, akhrij hubba dunya min qalbi. So it could be not even something haram. Your bellies are not filled with haram, but you're doing things in excess, in love of this world. And what ends up happening is that Imam al-Hussein calls you after he arrives in Karbala, and he tells you, Ya Umar bin Sa'ad, join us. And he says, but I have houses waiting for me. The Imam looks at Umar bin Sa'ad and promises him that I will give you better houses than that you have. He says, yeah, but I have property waiting for me. And the Imam tells him, I will give you better and more property than what you have. So he tells the Imam that I have my family waiting for me. The Imam again responds, I will give you your family. I will ensure their protection. Join me. Then he says, I have the kingdom of Ray waiting for me. That is something you cannot offer me. The Imam tells him, I promise you, you will not even taste the wheat of Iraq. You want to get that opportunity to taste that wheat. You don't want to join the camp, you will not get that opportunity. And you will notice in the Maqatil, these names that I have mentioned, they didn't live for more than 5 to 7 years after Ashura. It's not like they were 18 and they had like 50 years left. No. They didn't live for 5 years after Ashura. Some maybe 2 years. And all of them had this regret in their heart because of their attachment to this worldly. Some of them might have had ma'rifah. They recognized the Imam. Because again, with Umar bin Sa'ad, Imam Hussein tells him, you know who I am. You recognize that I'm the son of Fatima. You recognize the status that I carry. But yet, despite all this, you're fighting against me. Because he still had that love of the world in his heart. In fact, in the last moments of Ashura, when the horse returns and Sayyidah Zainab goes on Talla Zainabiyah and she addresses Umar bin Sa'ad, what does she tell him? She tells him, are you watching and Abu Abdullah is getting killed? He starts crying. We cry as well in the Masa'ib, don't we? What differentiates us from them? What makes us enter the tent and not them? It is that we should have these qualities in their entirety, not have one quality and lack on the other. That it's okay, I cry over Hussein, I love Hussein, I know Hussein, but if I eat haram, it's okay. Or if I have the love of the world and I can have the love of Hussein. No. You're supposed to have all the qualities in their entirety. But sometimes it becomes difficult that the Imam calls out and you do not help. And then later on you realize and you try to help as much as you can. We had one such man who, when the Imam called out, he did not help. But you see his name mentioned post Sham Ghariba, that he intervened here, he intervened there, he stopped Imam Sajjad getting killed. He stopped the dress of the daughter from burning. He tried saving the situation. We don't know, perhaps it was too late for him to join the camp. And this man then gives you narrations, and he tells you that what I saw on Sham Ghariba was so heavy. He says, I saw Banat al-Rasul, Banat Sayyid al-Anbiya wa Qurrat Ayn al-Zahra, Hafiyatin Bakiyat. I saw them barefoot, crying, running out of their tents. We tell the Imam, oh, we wish we were there. But do we have what it takes to be there? Do we recognize the Imam? Do we stand up and follow his light? When we see oppression go around in the world, do we feel that pain? Do we express that pain? Or do we just sit down? We're waiting for the 12th Imam, we will join his camp. We end up becoming like these companions who wrote the letters to the Imam but didn't do anything when the Imam came. This person who was not able to join but later on helped says in his maqtal, when he's describing Sham Ghariba, he says, فَوَاللَّهِ لَا أَنْسَى زَيْنَبَ بِنْتَ عَلِي وَهِيَ تَنْدُبُ أَخَاهَا الْحُسَيْنِ. I will not forget what I saw from Zaynab bint Ali as she sat by the body of Hussein and she's crying over Hussein. What does this man say? What does this man narrate about Sayyidah Zainab? He narrates that Sayyidah Zainab was in this state with a broken heart and a softened voice. بِصَوْتٍ حَزِينٍ وَقَلْبٍ كَئِبٍ. She shouts out, "Wa Muhammada salla alayka malikus sama." O grandfather, O Muhammad, the angels of Allah send their salutations to you. هذا حسين بالعراء مرمل بالدماء مقطع الأعضاء. This is Hussein, this is your Hussein, O Rasulullah. What state is he in? مرمل بالدماء. It is as though the dust and his blood has mixed over his body. مقطع الأعضاء. His limbs have been chopped off. محزوز الرأس من الكفا. His head has been separated. وَبَنَاتُكَ سَبَايَا. And your daughters are now taken as prisoners, O grandfather. أشتكي إلى الله وإليك يا محمد المصطفى. I complain first to Allah because I recognize him. وأشتكي إليك يا محمد المصطفى. Then I complain to you, Muhammad al-Mustafa. Then she keeps on complaining. This was a heartbreaking moment for this person who missed this opportunity to join the tent. And then he narrates that the army was taken from Karbala to Kufa and from Kufa to Sham. Every station they stopped, they were oppressed. One of these stations they stopped, they were oppressed so much. And then they reached Kufa, and Sayyidah Zainab and Kulthum decided to give their sermons. Kulthum stands up and tells the people, how is it that the men come and kill us from your community whilst the women are the ones crying over us? Showing them that it is very easy to cry over Hussein. It is very easy to not recognize and just cry over Hussein. If you had true recognition, you should have been like the wife of Zuhair and pushed your husbands to join us. But what was the state of the family of the Prophet? They spend their time in prison. Abi Hamza Thumali comes and asks Imam al-Sajjad, he tells him, أما آن لحزنك أن ينقضي ابن رسول الله أليس القتل لكم عادا وكرامتكم من الله الشهادة. When will your weeping end, O son of the Prophet of Allah? Is death not normal for you? Is martyrdom not a grace from Allah? Imam responds to him, شكر الله سعيك يا أبا حمزة. May Allah bless you, O Aba Hamza. نعم القتل لنا عادا وكرامتكم وكرامتنا من الله الشهادة. Yes, death is normal for us and martyrdom is a grace of Allah from us. But O Aba Hamza, have your ears ever heard or your eyes ever witnessed that the family of the Prophet's tents are burned and they are running from one camp to another? Their Aba is taken off. They're paraded from city to city as prisoners. O Aba Hamza, every time I see my aunties and my sisters, I see them running from one tent to another and me being unable to help them. وَسَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا آلَ مُحَمَّدٍ أَيَّ مُنْقَلَبٍ يَنْقَلِبُونَ وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Let us raise our hands and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of Fatima and her father and her husband and her children and the secret within her, to hasten the reappearance of Imam al-Mahdi ajjalallahu ta'ala farajah, to allow us to join his tent and his camp, and to make us amongst those that avenge the killing of Hussein alayhi salam. Matam Hussein. بازار شام آ گیا، بازار شام آ گیا، اکبر میرے جوان کس کو بلائے ماں، بازار شام آ گیا، شام دشت بلا کو چھوڑ کے خاک شفا کو اوڑھ کے، اے فقر کبریا سنو کہتی ہوں ہاتھ جوڑ کے، کیسے چلے گی ماں اے میرے نوجوان، بازار شام آ گیا، شام آ گیا، اکبر میرے جوان کس کو بلائے ماں، بازار گیا، قسمت کے پاس باں ہے وہ، خیر النساء کی جاں ہے وہ، غربت کی انتہا ہوئی غیروں کے درمیاں ہے وہ، شہزادی جنا سہتی ہے سختیاں، بازار شام آ گیا، آ گیا، اکبر میرے جوان کس کو بلائے ماں، میں نے سنی ہے یہ صدا، کہتے ہیں شام میں سبھی بدلہ علی کا لیں گے ہم، بنت علی سے آج ہی پتھر سے بھری لوگوں کی جولیاں، بازار شام آ گیا، بازار شام آ گیا، اکبر میرے کس کو بلائے ماں، آ گیا، نامحرموں کی بھیڑ میں اٹھتی نہیں نظر میری، عباس کی قسم نہیں تشنا لبی کا غم کوئی، دکھ ہے یہ میری جان سہمی ہے بیبیاں، بازار شام آ گیا، بازار شام آ گیا، اکبر میرے جوان کس کو بلائے ماں، بازار شام آ گیا، بازار شام آ گیا۔
تعجز يا رب. السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة، السلام عليك يا فاطمة، السلام عليك يا خديجة الكبرى، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين، وعلى آل ابن الحسين، وعلى أولاد الحسين، وعلى أصحاب الحسين، خصوصا مولى أبو الفضل عباس وزينب أم كلثوم بنتك السكينة جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا غريب القربى سلطان أبا الحسن مولانا علي بن موسى الرضا، شفيعنا وشفيع والدنا في يوم الجزاء ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا صاحب الأسر والزمان سيدي الأمان من فتنة الزمان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن قابة الإيمان إمامنا وإمام الإنس والجان، أجل الله تعالى فرجاك وسخر الله تعالى مخرجاك وزهورك ورحمة الله وبركاته.